Hey guys, good afternoon and welcome to Your Stocks. I'm Pavitra Parekh. We have lots to get to, but a quick look at the market. It has moved into the green right now after, trending in the red for much of the day. So we're currently around 20 points higher. There you can see it, we've broken out of the red and we're now currently in positive territory. The mid-cap index has pretty much been holding up with a gain throughout the day. We're still at that level. And the Nifty Bank, which was seeing much steeper losses, has also recovered a little bit. So you're seeing that index trading with cuts of around 30 points right now. So that's what's going on with the market action. But we do have a lot of queries to get to. And I'm going to invite our guests as well. We have Astha Jain from Hem Securities as well as Ruchit Jain from 5 Paisa. Guys, a very good morning to both of you and thank you for joining us. We have lots of queries to get to and the first one is already on the line with us. So let me get straight to him. Vishal Mohan calls us from Chandigarh with a query and he would like to invest in Tech Mahindra. So Mr. Mohan, if you can hear me, good afternoon and please go ahead and ask us your query. Both of our guests are on the line as well.
Hi, good afternoon. Myself Vishal Mohan from Chandigarh.
Hi Vishal, please go.
Ma'am, I want to invest in Tech Mahindra. I want to tell you that I already have Infosys at around 900 levels. I have 10 stocks of Infosys also. And I can invest around 25,000 plus in this particular stock.
Okay.
So can you recommend a buy for 4 years, 5 years timeline?
Okay, so it looks like you like the IT space and you have made good money on Infosys, so why not? You're saying you can...
Stock was already around the levels at 1,800 and 1,900 Infosys, but now it's a bit down.
Yes.
And if you can give the buy advice also on TCS.
Okay, so Tech Mahindra and TCS. Asa, let me come to you first on this. The IT pack has been spoken about and spoken about. We've seen the losses sort of mount there. But, one view is that much of the damage is already in. And we are getting these stocks at, much more comfortable valuations now. Do you think there's a case for buying some of these right now, the likes of Tech Mahindra or TCS? Or if you like anything else within the IT space, you can also recommend that.
Good afternoon, Pavitra. So talking about, first of all, Tech Mahindra, I think he can definitely add the stock in his portfolio for the longer term point of view. Targets at the initial level is at around 1,200, but in the longer term, we can see the more higher levels. So now talking about Tech Mahindra, I'm more positive on Tech Mahindra at present moment of time. So I am just advising to buy that because in Tech Mahindra, whatever results they have posted that were totally in line with the expectation, although the deal closures were soft, but that was mainly due to the spillover effect in the Q3. Going ahead also, we are expecting this company to post strong margins because even in the Q2 also, they have shown strong FCF free cash flow generations and they have shown strong operating margins. So I think, and the most important point why I'm positive going ahead, because the TCV guidance was maintained by the management and that gives me more optimism about the stock. So all in all, my take is he can go with the Tech Mahindra. Price target can be set at around 1,200 at the initial level and then later on it can go above those levels also.
All right, so Tech Mahindra is a good one to get into. And yes, that was one of the key positives, right? That they did hold their TCV, the total contract value, for the benefit of our viewers. So Asa is saying that you can definitely get into the space. But let's ask Ruchit as well. Ruchit, like I said, of course, this stock and the rest of the tech pack has also, seen significant cuts this year. I think for Tech Mahindra, it's down around 30% in 1 year. But do you think it looks good from here on if someone is to get in at these levels?
Yes, hi, very good afternoon. I think, yes, overall IT space, we have seen that it has been more in tandem with what is happening in the Nasdaq, where we have seen a sharp downfall in the Nasdaq. Even our IT stocks have shown a good underperformance in last 1 year. But of late, we have seen a good recovery in the US markets or their IT stocks too. So I think the downside seems to be quite limited from here on. Now, price-wise correction has already been done in Tech Mahindra, and I think it's more of a time-wise correction which is going on in the stock. And since his view is for more next 4 to 5 years, I think definitely in this time-wise correction he can take this as an opportunity to buy. But my only take would be to rather than buying entire quantity what he intends to at current levels, he should look to make it in 2 parts. Maybe partial quantity could be bought at current levels, and in case if we get any dip in the near future, so we can add more around that 980 to 1000, which is a very crucial support range.
All right, Mr. Mohan, I hope that helps you. Both of our guests feel like, this is a good stock to get into. You can buy Tech Mahindra, but maybe you don't need to put all of the money in it at one go. You can put in some now, wait a bit, and then see how it trends from here. And then you could, of course, add your positions. So I hope that helps you. The next query comes in from Sri Krishna Kittu, who writes to us from Hyderabad. He holds 135 shares of IOC, which he bought at 68 apiece, and also 30 shares of Wipro, which were purchased at 392. He says he's a medium-term investor and wants to know whether he should hold these stocks or not. He's looking at around a 5-year period, it is what he tells us. Since he has this time horizon, Astha, coming to you once again, take us through what you think on IOC, and we were just discussing the IT pack as well. So here's another one from the IT pack, that's Wipro.
Yeah, sure. So first of all, talking about IOC, I think a hold is recommended for the stock for the price target of at around 80 to 85 level. So although, the results which they were posted were not that strong, but whatever losses this company has shown in the quarter gone by, I think it was below our estimate. So one positive on that. Going ahead also, we can see improvement in the refining margins as well as in their marketing margins. So all in all, I think that will be helping the company in posting strong set of numbers. And we can also see the improvement in the demand for the petroleum products. So all these points will aid to the strong growth in the financials going ahead, and that's why I'm recommending hold with a price target of 80 to 85. Now, talking about Wipro, although the results which this company has posted were almost a mixed set of numbers, but going ahead, I think the company, because the guidance which this company has posted for the for the coming Q3 revenues were not very strong, and that's why I think in the near term this stock might see some sort of volatility. So please be ready for that, because the coming quarter, third of FY23, will not be a great set of numbers for this company, as management has already guided on it. So it will take at least 6 months to 1 year for the Wipro to show strong price movement in the future. So if the time horizon is of around 1 year, then he can hold Wipro also.
All right, got it. Let's also ask Ruchit on both of these stocks. Ruchit, what do you think of IOC and then Wipro? Of course, IOC is really not done much. It's actually negative for the year if you look at it. So if you could start with that.
Yeah, so no, definitely it has been an underperformer. But if we look at off late, last couple of months, many PSU names, especially those who are giving good dividend yield, have witnessed good buying interest. And off late, this OMCs, all three, HPCL, BPCL, IOC, have also started, gaining some buying interest, as we can see a gradual improvement or gradual increase in the volumes over there. So I think for now, we should continue to hold on. Maybe towards that 90 mark, if we get, then he can again take a review on his positions. So hold IOC for targets of 90. Wipro, I think the price-wise correction may have been done, but in terms of relative performance with other stocks within the same sector, we are witnessing a good underperformance in the stock. You can see last couple of months in the pullback move in other stocks and other IT names, Wipro has not participated yet. So I think this underperformance could continue going ahead for next few months as well. So within the IT space, I would prefer going with other large cap names such as Infosys or HCL Tech, where if this up moves continues in the IT space, those two names could give a good outperformance compared to Wipro. So Infosys and HCL Tech within the large cap IT and KPIT Tech within the mid cap IT. I think these three are the stocks where one should put his money in case if he's looking to invest in IT.
All right, lots of alternate options. I like that. Ruchit, thanks a lot for that. But, another query is coming in, and this is on a stock that we don't talk about too much. We have Adarsh Agarwal, who writes to us from Bhavnagar in Gujarat. He holds 1,600 shares of Methane Alloys at 1,590, and he also has, of course, 1,230 shares of Vedanta at 314. He's a long-term investor, and he wants to know whether to hold or sell. Ruchit, coming to you first on this. He's a long-term investor, so, do keep that in mind. But for Methane Alloys, I was just looking at the chart. Ever since April, there's been quite a knock that has come through here. Do you think there's more pain expected?
Yes, I think the stock is not been showing any signs of outperformance or bottoming out over here. So in case if the market does not fall from here, then there may be some time-wise correction, but not expecting any big outperformance in coming months or maybe next 1 or 2 years as well. So my advice would be to take an exit from Methane Alloys, maybe in any kind of pullback rally towards 1,000, 1,100 if we get an opportunity. So look to take an approach of sell on rise and exit the stock on any kind of pullback moves.
All right. And what about Vedanta?
Vedanta could be held on because we have seen a high top, high bottom structure, and of late, whenever there are corrective phases in this metal space, Vedanta primarily have witnessed a good buying interest, maybe because of dividends and other factors. And also, if you look at the dollar index, then dollar index has also seen a very sharp correction of late, and a fall in the dollar index is usually considered as a positive for the metal space. So I think the downside seems to be very limited from here on. Short-term volatilities, of course, could be there, being a high beta name Vedanta. But since his view is for mid to long term, then he can continue to hold on to Vedanta.
By the way, Vedanta is up almost 14% for this month alone. So that is the move that we've seen on Vedanta. Let's also ask Astha. Astha, my team is telling me that you're not covering Methane Alloys. I'm going to ask you directly on Vedanta. What do you think of this stock? You think you should keep holding because he's pretty much at the same level at, as where he bought it?
So definitely a hold is recommended in order to gain more price momentum because here the price target for the Vedanta is at around 400 or 410 level. So definitely a hold is recommended. For Vedanta, the results were totally in line with the expectation, but we have seen some sort of rise in their net debt level. So now what will be the growth drivers for this company going ahead? And I'm recommending hold. First of all, the company has a strong focus on reducing their debt. Secondly, this company has a plans to attain 100% self-sufficiency in the thermal coal. So again, that will be a very positive for the company, but that is the matter of 4 to 5 years. So here the story is for the longer term. And thirdly, the share of the aluminium business in their overall EBITDA is again increasing because company is totally focusing on increasing their aluminium volumes. So all in all these things will be aiding in the strong financial performance of the company going ahead. So here the take is, if the time horizon is more than a year, then definitely a hold is recommended. At the initial levels, the price target can be set at around 400 or 410 levels.
All right, got it. That is on Vedanta. Another query comes in. This is from Ronu Mukherjee, who writes to us from Pune. She holds 2,500 shares of Lemon Tree Hotels, bought at 93.90. She is a short-term investor and wants to know whether she should hold or sell at current levels. Let me come to you on this, Ruchit. This stock, of course, has seen quite the run up. I think it's almost doubled if you look at it, for this year. But she's also gotten pretty much at the levels that it's at, right, at around 90. Do you think there's scope for lots more from here?
So as of now, the structure is still positive. We have not seen any kind of short positions where the price corrections have been met with higher volumes. So the high top, high bottom structure is still there. But only thing is that since the price has already rallied in last 1 year, any kind of profit booking could lead to some sharp moves going ahead. So keep some stop losses. The support for the stock is around 85, 84. So keep a stop loss below that 84 level and continue to ride on to this trend.
All right, so hold on to Lemon Tree. That is the view from Ruchit. What do you think, Astha? You think that this still looks good from a longer term perspective?
Yes, because there are two reasons. Although Ruchit tracks technical, but again the stock is approaching at the all-time high level. So again that will be a reason. Now talking about the from the fundamental school of thought perspective, what is driving confidence in the stock, if I talk about myself, is that first of all the results were decent. Secondly, the average room rate, which is the very important parameter for any hotel stock, is they have seen a strong rise in that also. Going ahead also, they are planning to reduce the debt, and we all know this. From October to March period is a very strong period for these all companies. So I think due to this, I think we can see some sort of a strong revenue generation going ahead. So all in all, I think Lemon Tree can be a hold. Price target at the initial level can be set at around 100, 104, 105 levels.
All right, yeah, we do have the Christmas, winter, holidays, all of that coming up, which will only, add to the kind of occupancies that they will perhaps see. Ruchit, Astha, thanks a lot for that. We have to get into a short break, so please stay on. We'll take up lots more queries in just a minute when we come back. Welcome back. You're still tuned into Your Stocks, and we still have Ruchit and Astha with us to answer all of your stock-related queries and to give you a complete fundamental as well as technical perspective. So the next query that we have comes in from Raghavendra. He writes to us from Bangalore, and he says that he holds shares of Paras Defence. He has 300 shares of Paras Defence at 698, and he has 1,300 shares of South Indian Bank at 25. So he wants to know the future prospects of his investments. Astha, let me come to you first, and I have to start by asking you about Paras Defense. You know, we talk so much about this big defense indigenization push by the government. All of the defense stocks have done well. Paras, not so much. How do you, look at this one?
Yes, might be the valuations can be one of the reason, but going ahead also, I think this company aspires to become one of the top 5 companies in this crowded drone Indian market. So that is a positive for the company. And in fact, they have recently received the order of 65 drone parachutes also. So all in all, I think it's a decent stock. Not very high returns can be expected at present moment of a time, but still, I think average returns can be expected from this counter. So hold is recommended. Price target is 690 to 700. Now, talking about South Indian Bank, I think South Indian Bank is looking good because there is a complete change in the management, and we have seen, the balance sheet has been also been realigned because the CASA mix has been improved. All in all, even the management is giving the credit growth guidance of around 12 to 13%. So South Indian Bank is looking good to me. Hold is recommended. Price target can be set at rupees 90.
Okay, thanks for that, Astha. By the way, there's just no stopping South Indian Bank. The stock has been out of control. It's up 100% in 6 months. That is the kind of momentum that we've seen in South Indian Bank. Ruchit, coming to you, I'm sure this has been an exciting chart to track. Do you think that there's room for significant upside from these levels as well? And then also, of course, take us through on what you think of Paras Defense.
I think it's quite possible. In fact, I was looking at both the charts. Both are quite opposite because South Indian Bank has been showing a good outperformance since last couple of months, where the stock prices went from about 8.5, 9 to almost 16 now. The trend still continues to remain positive, and he can continue to ride the trend with placing stop losses below 13 rupees, which now is a good support base for the stock. And on the higher side, around 19 to 20, I think that would be the range that he should look out for, where profit booking could be done. Now, coming on to Paras Defense, there's a saying in technical analysis that when any sector is performing good, and if any stock is underperforming within that sector, you should better leave it alone and not try to do any bottom fishing in such names. So Paras Defense have been one stock within the entire defense space where we have not seen any kind of buying interest in last few months, whereas other stocks have seen a good momentum. So use any kind of pullback moves in the stock to take in exit, and rather if you want to stay within the defense space rather than bottom fishing in such underperformers, try to take a buy and dip approach on the outperforming names such as HAL or BEL.
Okay, that is the view on both Paras Defense as well as South Indian Bank. We're going to try to squeeze in a few more queries. We have Shabir Sheikh, who writes to us from Chennai. He holds 170 shares of Gravita, which he bought at 280. He's a medium-term investor and wants to know what he should do, whether he should hold or he should book profits. This stock is currently at around 350, 348, I think. So let's see. He's already made good money on this. Ruchit, what do you think? Do you think he should, book his profits, get out and look at another stock, or you think he should just keep on holding and hope for more profits in this one?
So off late, we have not seen consistent volumes in the stock. When the prices went up from 310 to 370, somewhere in the month of September or early October, we have seen in between good volumes. But then the volumes have not been that high. And usually whenever we see pullbacks or up moves supported by lower volumes, so that does not give much confidence of prices getting sustained at high levels. So my take would be he can look to book partial profits at least over here and hold on to their partial positions with a stop loss below 340.
Okay, got that. Astha, your call on this one. Do you think Gravita is a good bet?
I think so, because the positive surprise which came in their result was about the net debt reduction. So they have reduced their net debt from 3.5 billion to 2.7 billion. And again, going ahead also, I think the management will be able to post strong growth in the volume because they have guided for 25% growth. So all in all, I think Gravita can be a hold. Price target can be at around 390, 395 level.
Okay, that is on Gravita. You can hold. The next one is from Sushil Kumar Bhatia. He calls us from New Delhi and he has investments in SRF. Mr. Bhatia, if you can hear me, please go ahead with your question.
Yeah. My query is, can you give a medium to 1 year outlook on SRF, because the price is going down day by day.
Yeah.
And I purchased at 2390. Should I hold I want to hold them for 1 year. So can you give me the outlook? Is the company's demand for products export affected due to some reason?
Okay, let's ask our guest. I mean, in 2021, we did see SRFC saw, a huge up move. So after that, it has been a little bit quiet. I understand, why you would want to call on this one. Ruchit, coming to you first on this one. He has only about a 1-year view, and he's asking, what do you think should happen with SRF? Like I said, in 2021, there was a huge run up in the stock. But this year, of course, it's been quite, it's negative for the year, around 5% down.
Yeah, so although long-term stock structure is still positive, but I think from a short-term perspective, the stock has been retracing the entire previous gains. And the major support for the stock would come somewhere in the range of 2050 to 2100 going ahead. So I think at current levels, you should just wait and watch. There is no need to exit because the prices have already corrected. But in case if it is looking out to average out or adding more quantity, then whenever it comes around that support of 2100, 2050 range, those ideally would be good levels where risk-reward ratio would become favorable to add on more positions.
Okay, Astha, very quickly to you too. Do you think that from a fundamental perspective, this is a good bet? He has only around a 1-year time horizon.
Yes, and I think the gentleman was a little bit worried about some of the products also. So I just would like to say that one of their product, that is the packaging film and the textile, technical textile. I mean, these two segments have reported a big decline in the EBIT, but the other segments will catch on that. And they have announced a strong capex also. So all in all, in the long term, the other segments will take over. And that's why we are positive on this stock. Price target at the initial level can be at around 2400.
All right. Thank you to both of our guests. Ruchit, Astha, we're going to leave it at that today. Mr. Kumar, I hope that helps answer your query as well. But with that, we're going to wind down on this edition of Your Stocks. The market is back in the red. We're just around 5 points in the red right now. So do stay tuned. Closing bell comes up next for a very exciting last hour of trade. And remember, you can always email us your queries, and we will keep taking them up with our experts.